So that's not supposed to happen. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Today we are heading up to Weber to do the photo shoot, our winter photo shoot with a lack of snow, with reindeer, but there's a lack of snow. So that's a little lame. I was really expecting there to be snow when this happened. And there was some like a week and a half ago, but it's kind of all melted now. Like there's snow in the mountains, but not a lot down here. Maybe there's more in Weber. I don't know. Anyhow, we're going up to some ranch up there. We're going to be shooting up there. But yeah, my right paddle shifter finally died. I mentioned a while ago that it was broken, and I went to hit it just a moment ago, and it completely fell off. So I guess that accelerates the timeline for needing to try to fix that. Yay! The good news is, on the back here, the button's exposed, so I can still kind of use it, but taking a look at this, I almost want to try to see if I can just machine an entire metal replacement for it, because why the heck it was plastic to begin with, and so small and janky is, well, probably 333 horsepower, but I hate it. And I'd really like an actual legitimate solution rather than replacing it with the same plastic part that may well break again. But we'll get to that later. Let's get to our photo shoot and get that taken care of first. This is so bad. I feel like I have no control over my car now. Like there's no control over my power delivery. That's right, boys. We are hill climbing in the Mercedes. Hashtag all-wheel drive for the win. So, yeah, I knew that there was a dirt road, but no one said anything about, like, an incline. It's actually probably rather good that it's not snowing, because this would be the worst. But it's okay. I'm pretty sure we're going the right way. We will we'll know shortly. There is a sign up here, Barn Road. Hey, look, that's where we want to turn. Sweet. Alright, I think we're going the right way. But, this is kind of a yikes. I can't even see where I'm going! Oh, here we go. Oh, that's the field that they didn't want you driving over. Okay, so, wow, this is exciting. Yeah, let's do it. Haha. Now, it should be noted, as an aside, like my old Mustangs, I used to drive those things down to Utah Lake, and if you could see the roads that I drove those things over, they were dirt roads, and they probably had, you know, potholes, for lack of a better term, you know, divots, everything else in them. Some of them were probably 9 inches to a foot deep. I almost bottomed out one day trying to head out there, but yeah. So we're doing some switchbacks, I guess. But yeah, you know, it's not a Lambo. I'm not cringing too bad. We're all right. We're all right. I definitely wouldn't want to drive a Lambo up this, so heck no. Anyways, yeah, we're almost there. Alright guys, so here we are, we're back, we've got everything offloaded, we're getting a chance to look over these pictures. Let's go ahead and take a look at how everything's looking right now. And after we've kind of looked things over, I'll include before and afters for some of these edits. So you can see how everything came out. I'm going to include some of my favorites and stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. So let's dive in though, and let's take a look. So one of my favorite models to shoot was quite easily this girl that was dressed up like, I guess you call her Mrs. Claus perhaps. But I loved the red of her outfit. I think it went great. I mean, we've just got great coloration. I mean, even without really any edits, or not edits, but just without any tonal corrections, like things look good. Once we get like a little bit of tonal correction from the neutral profile, it's already popping. I mean, it's already looking so good. Some of the things I can easily tell I'm wanting to do is I'm going to want to reduce, it looks like the purple. So the purple, we're going to want to just try to make that look a little bit more white. I'm going to want to try to pull out, you know, we want to try to get the fringing out of some of these colors. Like we've got whites that, you know, both whites and blacks can more easily show colors that aren't really there. And so one of the things we want to do is when we notice that is I want to try to pull those colors out. So with this image, it's kind of easy because we don't have really any purples or blues in there already. Like there's nothing, you know, we've got a lot of earthy tones. So purples and blues aren't already in the, you know, they're not part of the image. There's nothing else in the image that has those colors really. I mean, if we look at her eyes here, we have some blue. So there's a few things that we can kind of isolate and tweak individually. But as a whole, you know, for getting this white to be more white, we can easily pull out some of the purple, pull out some of the blue. Magenta might be a little bit harder if we've got, no, it's looking like those are more just the edges. With magenta, sometimes depending on your white balance, I've noticed that magenta can play a little bit with skin tone, just kind of what's showing up in the face or whatnot. But we've got really good skin color here, though. We don't really have any weird tones going on. Everything's pretty red and orange, maybe a little yellow. So we had good lighting. We didn't wind up with anything that was too cool. But so this is kind of a nice one. We've got a lot of fun ones here. I mean, you can kind of see there just for a second how it looks with the neutral tone before it, or the neutral profile just out of camera before it kind of tweaks it a little bit. But I really love how these ones came out. These ones were easily my favorites. She was really good with everything. We got great blur in the background, which I just love. She was great at posing. We had our, dang, I can't remember his name now, but buddy Val that was with us. He was in my group shooting and stuff. He was doing a great job at helping give the models directions and stuff. You see there's a few things here that we're going to kind of want to touch up. We got just a few threads showing here and there. Just a few little white ones that we'll want to touch up and just smooth that out. Looks like we got some hair there and some dirt. Want to clean that up, but I'm really happy with how these are looking and how I think these are going to come out when we tweak them a little bit. There's our reindeer. I told you guys we were going to have a reindeer. No snow, but we've got a reindeer. You can see we got Anna and Elsa in the back too, and I think that's Kristoff. Yep, that looks like it's probably Kristoff. Some of these I was definitely using some flash. It was starting to get darker. It was definitely getting later in the evening. The lighting wasn't quite what it was earlier in the day, so I started using some flash. The flash came out pretty good on most of these. Some of them it really wasn't as good, but we'll take a look at some of those in a moment. Some of them the flash wasn't working. Like it ruined the photo more than it added to the photo. We snapped a few with Anna, Elsa, and Kristoff here. Nothing I was super excited about. From there, so it was getting darker. We moved down to the lake, took one of the models down there, just to the little pond they had there. Tried shooting some stuff. It was getting really dark at this point, so trying to get the pictures to come out well was a little challenging. I mean, it was working, but it wasn't. We were definitely starting to use some flash. We come down here a little farther, so you can see we've got some decent flash going on here. I think I've got a few edits in this already. So, you know, we've got some slight curve adjustments. Haven't done too much yet. I like how she looks, but I feel like the background's a little dark. I'm not quite sure what to do with the background yet, but I feel like the background needs a little something. I like how she's situated though. I wish the background felt more level, but you know, I think we can work with some of these. I think we can see this one. I'd probably darken the background some. This one, it almost feels too light. I don't know. Now I'm questioning everything. Like, is it too dark? I don't know that it really is too dark. I think it just needs a few different adjustments to try to... Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it needs, but we will find out what it needs, because I do like the picture and I think it has potential. And then our Santa model changed into a different dress, and me and Val took her down by the water, and he had his softbox and stuff. I was just using my speed light on my camera. But we tried getting some walking shots, and yeah, I think we had some blur because my frame rate was not high enough. But this is really interesting, guys. So this is at 40,000 ISO on the EOS R6, shooting at 85 millimeters f4. I wish I had the 85 millimeter f1.2 because I would have gotten so much. I mean, that's like at least 2 more stops of light, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, this photo would just look completely different. We do have a lot of noise. So I mean, if we zoom in, I mean, you can see a lot of noise. I think we can probably smooth most of this out. Let's see here. If we come down to, not sharpening. Is this sharpening? Oh, noise reduction. Here we go. So if we try to reduce this noise just a little bit, like we don't want to reduce it to the point that the picture just becomes like a smooth mess. But if we try to just reduce it down a little bit, like if we're not zoomed in, it actually looks fairly decent. Now, it's not something you're going to want to blow up huge, but you know, if you're not printing this massive or anything, 40,000 ISO, that's decent looking from right here. I mean, it definitely still has some grain to it. I mean, if we reduce that down some, ooh, we definitely don't want to take it that far. It becomes way too buttery, and not in a good way. But I mean, if we just smoothen this out a little bit, it's really not too bad. I mean, zoomed in, it's not great, but it's not that bad. This one, yeah, I think I caught part of his softbox. That's what happened there, and yeah, it blew everything out. It's chill. It's good. I think I did get some good ones with her though. We got some where I had my flash working. Interestingly enough, this is still at 40,000 ISO. I probably could have turned it down some. Actually, we're still underexposed a little here even. Let's just see what... It'll be interesting to see what we can make of these. I knew it was low light. I wasn't wanting to completely... I wasn't wanting to bounce a ton of flash off of her just because I wasn't... You know, it was something new that we were playing with. I wasn't really sure how it would come out and such. So, you know, we were just trying different things. And this is one of the first times I've really used the flash, especially in a low light setting. I've used it in, like on the beach photos I did for my uncle's family. I used it there and it came out great, just helping fill in some. It's like more of a fill light, but these are, we're at 16,000 ISO. Still at 125 shutter speed. I probably should have been shooting a little bit faster, but you know, the grain here isn't too bad. You know, if we just reduce this noise a little bit, it's really not bad. I mean, these ones right here where we get down to the 16,000, and I think I had the flash more directly on her. Did we actually capture? That one's really bright. I don't know, we're gonna lose some in the bottom end, but ooh, so this one might be decent. This one, I mean, I'm not thrilled with her pose, but it's not bad. I mean, I think just for the editing practice and such, I think this is a good picture. I don't know that it'd be great for like printing or displaying necessarily, but just for getting a feel for of how to go through and how to work with the picture and how to work with the noise that's in there and reducing it and stuff. I think this is a good sample to work with. You know, most of our lights all in the foreground and stuff. We've got a dark background. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what we can make of it. Some of these are a little bit more fun. Probably want to darken the background a little bit, see if we can make her feel a little bit warmer. I feel like it's a little bit cooler than I'd want it to be. We want to try to soften that a little bit and stuff. Let's see, do we have any others in here? I don't think I had the right angle either. I think she was focusing a little bit more on Val, I think, and I don't think I got a good one out of these, which is unfortunate because was really hoping to get a good one out of here. Ooh, no flash at all. So let's see what happens. Let's just, so 8,000 ISO. We're seriously underexposed here. And I'm scared to hit the auto button because it's probably just going to completely freak out. But I'm really curious just how much information is actually in here. Yeah, it's still super dark. How much can we pull that exposure up? Ooh. Yeah, we got some serious chromatic aberration in here. Like, we've got tons of color separation. Wow, there's actually a lot more noise in there than I would have thought for being at 8,000. I mean, it's probably because it's so dark. We're trying to punch it up so high. I mean, that's bringing it up over 3 stops. I mean, that's what, 5 stops? Yeah, I really want that other lens, guys. 85 millimeter f1.2. Like, oh man, it'd be so good. I mean, the f4 is working all right. And as long as you can get the lighting right, it's great. But f1.2, I mean, between the bokeh and just how much more light it'll let in, it makes me happy just to think about it. Anyways, back to the pictures here. So these were some where she was walking. I tried recording it too. We've got some, I probably put that in already. We got some B-roll of that, but oh, that's a cute face. That's fun. You know, some of the moments you capture, it's just like, oh, that was funny. Let's see here. So we had her down here. Some of these may have come out all right. I was paying a little bit more attention to the composition when I was shooting her. Now, I noticed a bunch of them, like I shot it where the background and the model, they just weren't lining up great. And you wound up with this weird feeling of just like you were shooting down too much, especially since a few of them were a little shorter. And I don't like that feel. And some of the stuff I've looked at and tried recently is kind of lining up the hips with the horizon and stuff. And I feel like it definitely gives a lot better perspective, and also helps kind of the relation of objects and how they look size-wise. I think it fits a lot better. I mean, if you're sitting there going from a top-down look, you know, everything's going to look bigger up front, and especially probably like their head, because that's probably what you're focusing on. And then it's just going down. You know, if you've ever just seen like a straight-up top-down shot, it's like it skews everything funny. But if you line up kind of like their hips with their horizon and stuff, especially if you add more people in the scene, then it really helps give that perspective and the scaling kind of to everything. Like, you get a better idea of how everyone actually fits in and whatnot. Anyways, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. So if we skip back ahead, here's some, just scrolling through. We had some couches that we took some pictures with. These came out all right. I liked the model. I liked the couch. I'm not in love with the dress. You know, I think it came out all right. I probably would have had her sit forward a little bit more on the couch, maybe. Then we had Maurice here. I actually remember her name. Most of her pictures came out all right. So they kind of traded outfits a little bit. Some of these, let's see here. Where are some of the ones? Some of these I thought came out pretty good. I've been able to go through some of these. So, I mean, so for instance, here's a black dress that, you know, the black's getting some other color in it. And so one of the things that easily shows up in blacks is blues. Blues pick up a lot, and so will purples. And so you can easily see, like, if I just tweak this saturation slider for the blue, like, her dress completely changes color there. Like, I mean, it looks like it's a dark, almost navy blue at this point. So if I want to give her navy blue hair and a navy blue dress, I mean, this is going to be great. And navy blue shoes. But, you know, these things were black. And since they were black, we want to try to keep them black. So we want to pull out. Most of the time what I like to do is I like to desaturate it enough that it's not obviously that color anymore. I mean, I don't want to pull it all the way out, because then you get a black and white look more so than just a rich black look. And I kind of want it to be a little bit more rich. I want it to be a little bit deeper and not just kind of like a flat black. It becomes like a, this is going to sound weird, but like a desaturated black, where the black doesn't necessarily have a depth to it. It's just more of a black being a lack of color. And a lack of color isn't what we're going for. It's really more of, I mean, we're looking at a pigment here, right? I mean, it's black pigment where it's so dark, you know, it doesn't like have another color, if that's making sense at all. So, you know, we're not wanting it to just look like it's washed out sort of thing. Like, we want it to still have some depth to it. So most of the time what I do is I'll desaturate it a bit, you know, try to get it so it doesn't obviously look blue or purple anymore. And then what I'll do is I'll bring up the luminance on it most of the time some. Well, I mean, it depends on where it's pulling most of the color out of. The problem is if we darken the blue too much, then it's going to affect her jewelry. And I kind of like the jewelry popping white a little bit more. And since we're not separating the photo out a ton, it's just, I'd rather just add a little bit more light. So we add a little light, you know, bring up the purple a little. The purple's tweaking some stuff in other areas of the photo though, so we'll try not to tweak that too much. Bring the blue up just a little. I'm kind of liking where that's going. I don't think we've messed with her skin really. Most of this is just from auto, so I might even tweak this more later. We're sitting a little sideways. We're straight on with her though. The reds are fine. I'm not super concerned about the reds. What I will do though is to get the blacks to come out a bit more, is I definitely will wind up pulling down this curve some. And wow, that right there made a nice change. So, you know, pulling down the bottom of that curve there, what we can easily see is, you know, we took those blacks and now we've added kind of that deepness and that richness to it, where, you know, we've got a lot more depth to it. Whereas before it was looking kind of flat, and now it's actually looking more black. Like, there's a depth to it, but there's still definition. Like, we can still see some highlights in the black and stuff. We can still see, you know, more or less what's here and what's not. We can still see some of the ruffles and whatnot, but we actually have some depth to it. Like, there's some good contrast. And if we go ahead and we just toggle the slider, you can see the difference of where, you know, if I look at this, I know it's supposed to be black, but you can see the blue in it. And if we toggle it back on, you can see the blue's out now. You know, we've got a lot more of just blacks and whites in there. Maybe you could say darks and lights. So there's a lot less color in the black, which is good. That's what we're going for. That's what we want to see. We don't want to just desaturate it, but we want to get the color out of it by desaturating individual colors. I think you guys are following. It's all good. So we got some of these that are good that I'm excited to work with. Probably want to try to pull some of the red out of her hair and stuff. I don't know if she just has a little bit of red hue to her hair or if it just picked that up. I mean, there's got to be something in her hair. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some. Maybe it's some purple. I think she had some purple in her hair. I mean, it's black and dark purples, and kind of see those mixing. So, but some of these came out pretty well. These should be pretty good to edit. This one might be a fun one to edit. Maybe add like a little flame in here. We had a few good ones with Amaris. One of these, I think this one, I think what I'd like to try to do is darken it. Darken one similar to this a little bit. And then over here, try to add like a flame and try to do like some kind of glow thing. You know, if I'm feeling like going crazy with Photoshop, that'll be later. That's not something that I'll include here. I'll include just like an edit. I think this was the one. Add a flame in here, add some glow, darken it up a little bit. Probably try to make it look a little bit more like night. Try to get rid of this metal hose back here. And I think this could be a fun one to play around in Photoshop with. Scrolling back through, some of these came out all right. I've got some mixed feelings about these. I wish I would have been shooting from a little bit lower point of view. Like I said, with kind of lining hips up with the horizon, we're a little bit high right here. Like, it's not bad, but I feel like it would have been better. some of these, I really could have used a little bit faster shutter speed. I was at 1/100 for I don't know what reason. I don't know why I was down to 1/100th. But it caused some blurring in a few of these. I mean, I think we got some good rich color in some of these, so I'm not too worried about it. Like there is some richness that can be brought out in kind of the earthy tones and whatnot. But we'll see. Then probably one of the last ones we'll look at, we had this other model. She was in a red dress. We took a number of pictures of her with the reindeer, with Tinsel the reindeer. I really liked how the browns and the yellows and just the surrounding area played with the red dress. I feel like it added an interesting dynamic with just how the colors mix and stuff. You know, you've got these really earthy tones with this bright red, and it didn't clash. I mean, it's not necessarily complementary, but it didn't clash. It was rather, it worked well together for, I mean, I can't tell you a reason why, but you know, it was very pleasing to look at. Like, just the colors. I don't know, to me it had a very Carrie Underwood feel. If you've seen the cover of Insert Album Photo, you know, it really had that feel to it. I almost wanted there to be a little bit more of a breeze so that we could almost semi recreate that photo, because I was super getting Carrie Underwood album cover vibes right there. Like, it was pretty intense. That's the most of it. The first couple photos we shot, I think some of these came out all right. You know, we'll see what we can do with them. They weren't my favorite. We had more sunlight, and so the lighting was definitely a bit different. I mean, they came out all right. They'll be fun to edit. I think we got some good ones in here. But yeah, so for what I didn't include, I'll include a few more of the before and afters now. I'll show you kind of the raw, unedited, and then the edit that we wind up doing, cropping and all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. You know, if you found this helpful, informational, if it just made your day, if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up button, please. That helps other people discover the video and stuff. Subscribe if you want to see more content. We're doing more stuff like this all the time. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Until then, so long.